Welcome to another episode of Challenging the Norm. Here's an hers look at life and business with your hosts, Paul Snell and myself, Lindsey Burden. The podcast for solopreneurs, entrepreneurs, and business owners that want to experience success in their own way. Wrestling with the topics that matter and reality checking the latest trends in business. Paul works with business owners, showing them how they can take the stress out of transforming teams into performance powerhouses that love what they do, while I offer business coaching that empowers ambitious women in business to create financial abundance and a time-rich lifestyle without sacrificing their joy. How are you today, Paul?
In a word, Lindsey, warm. For anyone that's listening to or watching this podcast, you'll see me glow a wee bit today. It's very warm outside, and as we discussed prior to recording, I don't cope so well with the heat, perhaps.
Now, I've got a question, Paul. Is this podcast working?
Good question. Is it working? Wow. Well, in what respect, Lindsey? I mean, look, Is it working? Should it be working by now?
That's the better question, which leads us nicely really onto our topic, which is all about time. How long is a piece of string? How long should we wait? What should we do if it's not working? And who decides whether it's working or not working? And you and I were talking about time earlier, and I really feel that we're in this world where everybody wants it now. And I'm sure we've said that before in a podcast, a previous episode, but it's that instant gratification, which means that we're constantly on the lookout for the next thing, which means we don't let anything bed in. And as I always say, you don't follow the damn plan. You don't see it through. You just go, it's not working, give up. And I should quickly add, we're not giving up on this particular, on this podcast. Why would we? We're having way too much fun. But I guess, like me, you see this as well, don't you, Paul? It's not working, and just giving up.
I do. I see it a lot. It's something that comes up in a number of contexts. You and I have discussed what that can look like. In respect of how quick a business might grow, the objectives someone might have. And as you quite rightly point out, we live in this world of immediate gratification. And therefore, the perception is you should be able to have something really quickly without actually qualifying or understanding, what quick is. If you listen to Seth Godin, I love his quote that will say, it took me 10 years to be an overnight success. Fabulous. And it's so true, isn't it? Right? So this idea of how long something should take, and then we lay it all on the line based on that time. So if we get that time wrong, then everything's on the line with something that's doomed to failure. And you know what I'm like for crazy statistics, Lindsey. Here's a crazy statistic for you. If you train as an apprentice in Japan to make swords, samurai swords, in the simplest forms, it's years and years. In fact, it's over 30 years as an apprentice. So let me tell you, if you're banking on a quick turnaround for your samurai sword and you want to go and learn that, be prepared to play the long game.
Yeah, I love it when you come up with these stats and statistics, and I never know what you might come up with, which is what I love about it. You're right. I think the other thing that happens, or the other thing that I see happening, and I know I've fallen foul to it myself, is that we have this concept, we have this idea, and we start along that path, and then it almost creates more overwhelm. And suddenly there are more things we don't know how to do, or more things that we are not competent yet in. And it can take you down another path of more learning, certainly brings up imposter syndrome for people. And that really worries me for people that, our listeners and viewers now feel that they have to be on this treadmill of 6 figures. And I know we've talked about that before as well, but it really is, for me, aligning it. If you're going to try something, if you're going to do something, if you're going to give your time and energy to it, please ensure that it is aligned with your goals, that it's aligned with the success that you desire, that it's aligned with you. And that particular point, aligning it with you, is really important because I have a post coming out soon. And it's about the realization for myself that I get frustrated with it not happening quickly enough. And I've really had to remind myself that I am a mother, a daughter, a sister, a wife, and my time is precious, particularly around, you know, those people in my life. So, you know, we've got to make sure that when we give our time to something, whatever that might be, and I really hope you are choosing wisely and not going for the holy grail that in 3 months' time you'll be turning over $1 million or something silly, that we align it with our businesses, who we are, and what's important to us, and align it with our clients. Because I don't know about you, but I've seen that before, where, you know, someone's doing X and I'm like, how does that fit with that transformation that you wanted to achieve for your client, with the work that you wanted to do with your client, the difference you wanted to make? And that really frustrates me.
Yeah, you know, you hit it on the head a number of times there. I think the idea of aligning it with your goal, I love the quote. I think Stephen Covey talks about, you know, start with the end in mind. And I'm a huge fan of that. And there is some logic to it. I'm not always a very logical person, but there is some logic to that. And it really does come down to the fact that if you just have, it's an example. Let's give it another way. A dream is hard to define. It's just a dream. But if you put a goal in it, it becomes something achievable, right? So if you break down those goals into small chunks, we know this routine, and do one chunk at a time, you'll get to that end result. But the critical bit from a time element is you'll begin to see how time is reflected in that process. You know, we talk about how long it takes to achieve things in business. How long does it take to start earning a full-time income as a therapist or whatever you happen to want to do? We can fall into the trap of going, well, I'm told it could be in 3 or 4 weeks. And it just doesn't align, as you quite rightly point out, it doesn't align with the outcome. It can't possibly align with the outcome. If you're a therapist, first and foremost, you're taking qualifications, you're learning an in-depth subject, you're then got to go through a process of and the same with a coach, you go out there and do a number of hours of practice so that you qualify and so forth and so forth. All quite correct. But if you simply sit there at the start of your journey thinking, I'm going to be a therapist and a 6-figure income in 6 months' time, you're just going to be disappointed. And worse, you're going to put everything on the block for that. And then you're going to turn up in 6 months' time and there is no income. So by breaking that down into small chunks, the time thing becomes more visible. And it really concerns me, Lindsey, in businesses, especially around service-based businesses, where the perception of time can be really, really abstract for some people. And let's be honest about this. Nothing worth having is done quickly. Nothing. I don't care what anyone says. Right? If you really want something that has longevity, that has steady progress, that has a sense of fulfillment and something that you've achieved and you built, it's going to take time.
And actually, if you rush the process, you miss out on the journey, you miss out on the learning, you miss out on all the fabulous opportunities that might be presented. And I've been working on my website and have some copy that I'm working on. It's not changed yet, but I've actually removed the word fast, because it's not about achieving something fast. It's about achieving something in a way that is part, you know, it's that journey that makes you who you are. It's that journey that makes your business what it is. And I'm so with you, you know, take it slow. It's okay. Nobody said it had to be done tomorrow. Nobody says you need to be. And before we started recording, we were talking about this pressure of the clients and people. And I keep saying the word people, which I hate doing. It's you, fabulous listeners. Please don't be this people. You know, we put that pressure on ourselves and we make it about the money. And yes, I get it. We all need to make money. It's not about needing. You all deserve, all you incredible listeners and watchers, you deserve to make a wonderful income from what you do.
Yeah.
But there is a high chance you're not going to make that wonderful instant, it's not going to be instant. We have to go through that process. But it's the process that's so you can see I'm grinning. It's the process that makes it